Well, thank you, Dan, and good evening, everybody. It's a great honor to be with all of you tonight. I want to thank Dan for his energized leadership, the IRI board that's here, so many Senate colleagues. We're coming in and out. Sorry about the votes. I know the House is doing the same thing. By the way, that's democracy, right? That's what we're celebrating. We got to do it. And, of course, many supporters for IRI. This is going to be a great evening, great agenda, but how about a round of applause for everybody who made that happen? Our mission at IRI, Advancing Democracy Worldwide, is a battle with many fronts, and I'm proud to say that IRI is supportive of every endeavor that will bring more freedom to more people. And we have made progress in our mission by giving hope to those who wish to protest on a city street, or run for office, or cast a ballot. We have also angered democracy's enemies, which is another good sign of progress. Russia declared IRI a, quote, undesirable organization, unquote, and kicked us out of the country. And we've been sanctioned by the Chinese Communist Party. I think Dan Twining in particular has been sanctioned, so great job, Dan, on that one. You're doing your job. Now, as you get the feel here tonight, IRI is like a family. And tonight we will honor one of our own, Judy Van Ress, who personified IRI to thousands at home and abroad, especially women struggling for freedom. And of course, we are part of the broader National Endowment for Democracy family. Now, we all know the family secrets about democracy, that it can be messy, that it involves disagreement, sometimes ferocious, partisan disagreement, that democracies, including our own, are not perfect, and because of our transparency, these imperfections are out there for all the world to see. Now, a few months ago, my office received a call from the family of Madeleine Albright, our former Secretary of State who recently passed away. This Central European refugee of communism and fascism who immigrated to America as a young girl after World War II on a ship called the SS America was a fierce defender of liberty. She may have been 5 feet tall on a good day, but tyrants around the world feared her. Why? Because she had first-hand experience in how dictators operated. They were the monsters of her youth. As many of you know, she later served as chair of the National Democratic Institute, IRI's sister organization. Secretary Albright and I got to know each other well. We worked together with Dan and others on many of our respective roles with NDI and IRI and the Ned family. The Albright family had a simple request when they called my office, that I serve as an honorary pallbearer at Secretary Albright's funeral. I was humbled and honored, of course, said yes. But later I thought a bit more deeply about what it meant. And to me it was this: the promotion of a democracy by America around the world transcends domestic politics, and it connects Americans of different backgrounds, different political persuasions. From the beginning, it has been a bipartisan affair, a truly American mission. We know that for sure because it's part of our history, IRI's history, the Ned family's history, a history that we celebrate tonight in commemorating President Reagan's famous Westminster address 40 years ago. You just saw a video of that speech. And what a speech it was. Classic Ronald Reagan, optimism and vision tempered with toughness and confidence. More specifically, in front of the British Parliament, President Reagan launched the organization that we celebrate here tonight. He noted that for decades the Soviet Union had been giving political training and assistance to Marxist-Leninist organizations in countries all over the world. But the world's democracies were sometimes shy about doing the same thing and promoting our own values. Let us be shy no longer, President Reagan declared. The objective I propose is simple: to foster the infrastructure of democracy. Let us now begin a major effort, a crusade for freedom that will engage the faith and fortitude of the next generation. Tonight, 40 years later, we and the brave people we honor are that next generation. Overlaying this policy proposal was one of President Reagan's most brilliant insights, that our ideals, particularly our commitment to liberty, were the most powerful weapons in America's arsenal. Our military strength is a prerequisite to peace, he said, but it is clear we maintain this strength in the hope it will never be used. For the ultimate determinant in the struggle that's now going on in the world will not be bombs and rockets, but a test of wills and ideas, a trial of spiritual resolve, the values we hold, the beliefs we cherish, the ideals to which we are dedicated. President Truman underscored a similar insight in a speech in 1945 after returning from the World War II Potsdam Conference. He talked about our superior warfighting capabilities. This, he said, was something that we knew we had. The new thing, he said, the thing we have learned now that we should never forget is this: that a society of self-governing men is more powerful, more enduring, more creative than any other kind of society, however disciplined, however centralized. We now know that the basic proposition of the worth and dignity of man is not a sentimental aspiration or vain hope. It is the strongest, most creative force present in the world. President Truman was right, of course. Indeed, the creative power of American democracy, supported by a strong military, has done more to liberate men and women across the globe from tyranny and oppression, hundreds of millions of people, than any other force in human history. And of course, we are seeing the power of that democratic spirit play out in the Ukrainian people. Despite great odds, they are resisting heroically Putin's barbaric assault. I saw a preview of this at the Munich Security Conference this past February on the eve of the Russian invasion, which I attended with a group of senators led by Senator Lindsey Graham and Senator Sheldon Whitehouse, who are both with us here tonight. Young, brave Ukrainian parliamentarians, mostly women, told us in determined but quiet voices that they were committed to preserving their democracy if war came. But they needed American assistance. Will you senators help us? Will America help us? Yes, we answered, and we have. The mayor of Kyiv wasn't so quiet. In a meeting with several senators, he was asked what would be the response to a Russian invasion. Without hesitation, this 6'7", 240-pound heavyweight boxing champion pounded the table and said, "We will fight!" And they have. Ukraine is a grim reminder that the work to protect and promote democracy, the work of IRI, is not for the faint of heart. It is hard work. It is dangerous work. It is work that people across the globe are fighting for and dying for. In Hong Kong, people have courageously flooded the streets to voice their opposition to a Chinese Communist Party that has a thirst for totalitarian rule and unfortunately has crushed the democratic spirit of this city. once a bastion of liberty. In Sudan and Burma, democratic activists have shown unrelenting courage while facing down military regimes that don't hesitate to shoot at peaceful crowds. Protesters have challenged tyrants in Caracas, Havana, and Tehran, even though they risk being arrested, beaten, and even killed. Let me conclude with a sobering point. The world has once again entered an era of authoritarian aggression, led by Russia and China's dictators, who are increasingly isolated and dangerous, driven by historical grievances, paranoid about their democratic neighbors, and willing to employ military force to crush them. Moreover, Putin and Xi Jinping are increasingly working together to achieve their aggressive goals, enhancing the urgency of democracies working together. We must wake up to the fact that this new era of authoritarian aggression will be with us for decades. Americans must face it with strategic resolve and confidence. The United States has extraordinary advantages relative to the dictatorships of China and Russia. Our global network of allies, our lethal military, our world-class energy supplies, our dynamic economy, and most important, our democratic values and commitment to liberty. Xi and Putin's biggest weakness is that they fear their own people. As President Reagan reminded us in his Westminster address, such dictators don't risk free elections because, quote, regimes planted by bayonets do not take root. President Reagan saw the power and promise of our democratic ideals as a decisive advantage because the aspiration for freedom is universal. Citizens on every continent and in every country, including China and Russia, chafe for greater freedom, dignity, and individual liberty. Supporting democracy's heroes is an investment in a safer, more peaceful, and more prosperous world. So tonight, we celebrate those heroes and remember their champions, from Ronald Reagan to Judy Van Ress, to the prisoners of Putin's gulags, to the heroic people of Ukraine, whose resistance is striking fear in the cold hearts of dictators around the globe. I'm very thankful for all of you for joining us this evening, for supporting IRI and its important work. We're looking forward to a great night. Now I would like to welcome IRI board member Tammy Longberger to the stage to talk about Judy Van Ress. Tammy.